you've made a decision that there was an ethical violation.
Correct.
Yes. And who made that ethical violation?
The complainer.
You can't use the names. You have a complaint of record, and the complaint speaks for itself, and the docket number is
14-01.
Why aren't you having a hearing? If there's an ethical violation, why not have a hearing?
We had enough data in front of us to make a determination. We solicited, we had an investigation, and based upon the investigation and based upon the statements that we had, we came to a determination to bring it to a vote.
That there is an ethical violation, but nothing's gonna happen to the person who violated the ethics.
The press want to be able to confirm that the person that you're talking about here is who they think that it is. So even if you can't give the name, maybe you can give enough details regarding the context of the case in order to draw, so they could draw an inference.
I don't know the answer to that. All I know is that we have to identify it by the complaint number. The complaint was filed, dealt with under the rules. Certainly the respondent will be notified of the findings based on the record, not the record, but the material in front of the board. What the board discussed in private session, that's why it was a private session, it was permitted to do it that way. The board should not, because it was privileged information behind these four walls, and should not discuss it publicly after this meeting or during this meeting. You have to check with the attorney.
Mr. Attorney, when will the name of the person be
I
disclosed?
told you, I don't know.
For the record, you're shrugging and saying you don't know.
I just said verbally, I don't know.
You do not know. So who would know? Wouldn't the attorney know? I mean, the members of the board are suggesting they don't know and they're deferring to you and you don't know. Could we get some clarity before we leave this room tonight on when, if ever, the Ethics Board plans to acknowledge the name of the employee of the Township of Edison who they determined violated the local government ethics law?
Wouldn't this be considered a personnel matter anyway?
What does that mean?
That's why you were.
It's an ethics matter.
That's why you had a private session.
Okay.
People should understand this. I used to serve on the Franklin Township Ethics Board until the powers that be decided it's better not to have an ethics board. And I know that there were many, many ambiguities as to what we could and could not do. And the state of New Jersey, through the local finance board, offered little or no leadership or help to us in answering any of these questions. There's something wrong with a system that's been around since 1991, I believe, where some of the most fundamental things are still not known about it, like who gets the fine money, how does one enforce a fine, how does one hold a hearing. The state of New Jersey, I think there's a lot of problems with the ethics system and a lot of problems with the local finance board. And I know this all sounds like, well, the board is not acting, you should tell us who it is. I know that the state does tell. When they violate someone, they put the violation right out there with a name and everything. I mean, I publicize it. I just had the mayor of Wrightstown, New Jersey, fined $100 for something he did, and his name was right in their notice of violation. This board is issuing a notice of violation, essentially, but they're not naming the person against whom it is, which sounds, frankly, absurd. But I understand where you're coming from, because there's no real rule book that the state issues says, okay, local ethics board, this is what you do. And the rules they do have are very confusing and unclear.
We spent a year going through and writing out all of the local ethics procedures. And we went through them point by point. And spent a lot of time in doing it. And we're very proud of what we've done, and we're proud of how we've deterred a lot of ethics violations from coming, because we wanted to make sure that the people understand what they can and cannot do. You can't accept, a gift. You can't accept this. You can't accept that.
How do you make this? Is the top public figure of the township. It's out there in the press because we all reported it. And now you're saying you made determination on it.
Well, if you already know it, why do you need to hear it from us?
Because it's weird not to. That's why.
I think the point
because
is that he
it seems very suspect.
But
I mean,
Well,
it's
we're not- I
common
don't think
sense that
anybody's
there's
trying
only
to be-
one ethic complaint in a year.
I don't think anybody's trying to be suspect. I think they're just trying to do the due process for the person to be notified. That's all. Like we said, this is our third time here, you know.
I mean, we can quote you.
I kind of resent the fact the way you march in here, even as the press, with these demands. You don't respect what we give you as an answer. It's not good enough for you. It's gonna have to be, for now. That's it. That's the way I see it.
Was a little
Well, if I-
discerning was that
I don't
we
make the
asked- we
rules
asked you
either.
If I were on an ethics board, I would want to be able to answer the
I understand
questions.
your position, but understand ours.
Right, so you referred the question to
You
to
see
this
that
man, and he doesn't know
everybody
the
is giving you
answer.
the same answer to your question. There's gotta be a reason for it. So we're all programmed the same way, so there's gotta be a good reason.
That's the quote there, that's a good one.
You can quote me.